Hey, I just wanted to make a quick how-to video on how I made my blur fix for the GoPro. As you probably already know, if you take the GoPro underwater, because of this fisheye lens, everything would be blurry, unless if you have a flat lens. You could get them online for about 50 to 60 bucks, but I decided to just make my own. Use some pretty basic household stuff like silicone or caulk, the stuff that you put in the bathtub. Hot glue gun, sandpaper, and this is plexiglass. This is the only thing I actually went up and bought. You could get from the hardware store. I got a piece around this big for 50 cents. And this is a Philips Avast bottle top, baby bottle top. You could get from maybe Babies R Us or Rite Aid or Walmart. You just pretty much need a part of it. From this part down, you just need this bit right here. So first of all, let's get started. Put everything to the side. So by the way, I already did this whole thing, and I didn't really intend on making a video before, otherwise I would have recorded my whole steps. But so I'll just try to go through with what I already have, and I have some photos which I took for myself, which I'll post as well. So first we cut this little bit off. You could use a knife, maybe like a Leatherman or something. This is what I use. It's just like a pipe cutter. You could just cut this, and we just have this piece right here. It's pretty nice and thick, so you have to just put some pressure. Then I got a piece of sandpaper, and I just kind of leveled it out because the knife wasn't cutting it that evenly. So once I have this piece, the next piece I'll need is a plexiglass. I had a piece around this big. I made a square out of it with about 3 inches of side by side, 3 inches here, 3 inches here, and then slowly I just kind of cut off sides of it. We want a diameter about 2.5 inches of this for the plexiglass, and it'll fit on top of this thing with a bit of excess on the sides, as you can see. So once you have this thing, I just colored it with Sharpie so it doesn't cause any glare, because this is the inside housing for the lens. It's just an optional step. So we need a knife. And this thing right here is a bit too small to fit on the original lens housing. So just need the knife and just gently scrape off some plastic, and then you could get a sandpaper and just kind of even it out. But we don't want to take off too much. We want to keep it so it's nice and snug on this plate right here. It'll stay on without holding. So see how that stays on. So once that's cut out, you can put that to the side, and we have this thing ready as well. So eventually it will look like this, just by the way, when everything is set with glue and silicone, just holding it together. What I did was I got sandpaper and I scraped the inside of this bit right here. Scraped this bit right here. Just be careful not to get the actual lens part. Scraped it here, scraped it on the sides, and I got the plexiglass, and also I scraped here on the edges. Don't make sure you don't get the center part, because the camera will look through this part, and you don't want any scratches there. And the scratches are just there so the glue has something more to hold on to, and it causes a better adhesion. So the first step was I got this white bit right here, the housing, and I put it on there nice and snug. Then I got the silicone, and imagine this is a silicone dispenser, and I just kind of went over this whole bit right here just to make sure that this is nice and watertight. Just get your finger and you just rub that in and make sure that no water could get in from the outside. Then again, what I did was I turned it around, I got the silicone, and I applied it on this part as well, and I let it cure for about 12 hours. Then I came back and I got my hot glue gun, and I just went overboard and just applied this bunch of hot glue right here, and also on this part outside, on the other side of the silicone, this part. Just have to be careful of this part right here. The button is here, and you don't want to get any glue inside the button, otherwise the button won't press to turn the camera on. You have to just get a piece of plastic and just kind of jam the glue and the silicone in that area and make sure that no water could get in. This is what it looked like after it was finished. This is the piece of glue I peeled off yesterday. It looks a bit sloppy, but it gets the job done. So now this part is on there nice and firm, and it's nice and watertight. And the next part is getting the plexiglass on. So like I said earlier, I scuffed this whole bit up to make sure it keeps the adhesion with the glue, and then I scuffed this part right here and make sure you just kind of scrape off all the loose plastic, otherwise it could just cause some disturbance in the recording. And then get your hot glue gun and get it as hot as you can, because you have to do this step really fast. I got it as hot, I just waited, and then quickly just put a thin layer right here of glue and you have to be quick because then the glue dries really fast. And then get this part right here and quickly put it on top. Make sure there's a bit of excess plastic plexiglass on all sides. That way you could put some silicone and some glue on that side later on. So once that's set, it'll take like 10-15 seconds. Then I got the silicone, and then I went over this whole area again. I applied the nice watertight. Make sure no water could get in from this area. And I was, a bit careful in this area again because of the button, but you could just make sure you jam it in there. Once that's settled, then I got the glue gun again and also applied more glue in this area and all the way across. I mean, if you look in the picture I'll post in a second, I went overboard with the glue, and I'd rather be safe than sorry. When you don't want to be scuba diving and then see that this thing fogs up because there's water inside. So just pretty much go all over this area with glue. And once it's dried, then you're pretty much set. Just make sure you could just test it at home. What I did was, first time I did this, I didn't apply the silicone. I just used a hot glue gun and water got in. I'll post a picture of it in a second. But just test it at home because you don't want to be at your trip and then find out that there's like a little hole or something causing water to get in. So I'll post some videos in a second of my sample videos. Now just keep one thing in mind is I was doing the advanced open water course, and PADI doesn't allow any kind of gadgets with you while you're taking the training course. But my instructor said that if I put it on my head, he wouldn't mind as long as I don't touch the camera once I'm in the water. So because of that, I wasn't really prepared for it. So what happened was my head was moving too much, so the footage didn't come out. It came out too shaky, and half the time I was looking straight ahead, but the camera was pointing up because I didn't really notice it. But it's not a big deal. I got to swim with the whale sharks and a bunch of other cool fish. So I'll post some video of it. I'll post some footage of me at the surface, and then maybe 5 meters down, and then 10-15 meters, and then again at 30 meters. And you could see that no water didn't get in, and it was a nice and firm hold with the glue. So, and also once I came home, it's pretty easy to take it apart as well. I just got a little X-Acto knife and I just kind of peeled off the hot glue and the silicone, and it came off really easy, and so it's ready to be used and land again. And again, if I want to go scuba diving, I have this stuff saved. All I'll need is the hot glue gun and the silicone. I'll just have to put it back on and apply everything again. It shouldn't take more than 15 minutes if you don't count the curing time. So anyways, enjoy the video, enjoy the sample video, and let me know if you have any questions.